Yo, what is up, guys? It is Kaju here, and I am coming at you with another video on how I have everything set up for Fortnite. This is a beginner video telling you every little thing you should be doing to increase your accuracy with your aiming, to get better with building, everything in between. So we're going to start out. The very first thing you should be doing, no matter who you are, playing a shooter on a PC, is turning off your mouse acceleration. So in order to do that, you're going to go to your start menu, mouse settings. You just type in mouse. In the top right, you'll see additional mouse options. You're going to click that. You're going to go to pointer options and make sure enhanced pointer precision is not checked. Okay, you're going to apply that, and that's going to turn off your mouse acceleration, which will definitely help with your accuracy. Mouse acceleration basically means that your mouse will move as fast as your hand is moving. So your sensitivity doesn't really make a difference if your mouse is moving as fast as your hand is moving, which definitely will decrease your aim in many situations. All right, so after you do that, the next thing I would recommend to have better ping in game is getting a VPN. So the VPN I use is called ExpressVPN. This will protect you on a much different level, keep you from getting DDoS, everything in between, but it will actually, if your internet service provider is not good at connecting to servers in other cities or whatever it may be. So for instance, I'm in Texas and I don't connect well to any of the Fortnite servers. My ping is usually around 47 on US East, and that's my lowest. And I got a VPN, and which makes it safer for my stream and everything, but it lowered my ping down to 34. So you can literally just go to their website and you can get it and install it. Super easy to use, super user friendly. So I definitely recommend getting a VPN. The next things I'm going to show you is Amazon links to what I use. So I use the Apex Pro Series TKL. It's like a $200 keyboard when I got it. I'm not sure if it's lowered in price or not, but if you just look up Apex Steel Series TKL, like this one's 150. This is probably, it looks exactly like my keyboard. So this is pretty much the keyboard I use. It's the one I recommend typically. The only other keyboard I would recommend is if you go and just search drop keyboard. For a budget, I have this $100 one. I use it all the time. It's amazing. You can get the more expensive $270 one if you prefer that. But either way, whenever you get the Apex Steel Series, you just want to make sure you do the actuation all the way down, and that makes your keys more sensitive. And the mouse that I use is a Logitech G502. I use the wireless Lightspeed, which is this one right here. I use it for its extra buttons because I actually do use them in game. So I highly recommend getting those, or getting that mouse and a good keyboard to practice with. And then make sure you get a 244 hertz monitor. You want to make sure the refresh rate is, let me find out. Let's just find a, you want it to be 1080p. This is 280 hertz Vsync compatible, and you want it to be 1 ms. So this would be a really good one to get, and it's about $330. All of those things are important. I recommend like a 25 inch. You don't need anything bigger or smaller. 25 is a pretty good size for a monitor. So that's my top recommendations, and make sure you know how to set your settings to the higher FPS. Frames per second will help you increase your aim a lot. And that is the equipment that I recommend getting if you play Fortnite. And now I will take you over to my Fortnite settings. And if you're interested in seeing your ping, you can go to your settings. You can see your ping right here typically. So as you can see, I'm 34 on NA East, and that's lower than what I was off of the VPN. these are my monitor settings. So you want full screen, 1920 by 1080. You want to set your frame limit to whatever your monitor can handle. So I just set mine at 240 because that's what my monitor does. All of this is just the same. Auto set quality. Make sure this is on custom. View distance you want at epic. This is how far you can see people. Shadows off. Anti-aliasing is on epic because of DLSS. But what I would say is turn that off. I think I just switched my monitor, so it might actually be set up that way because of, yeah, it's set up that way because of my new monitor. So I'll have to figure out how to turn that off. But I would turn anti-aliasing on the lowest settings or off. Textures can just be completely low. Off on both of those. Effects basically is going to give you like certain details to certain objects. Low. Post-processing, low. So what all of this stuff is if it says it can affect performance at all, right? If it can cause a lower performance, or it can raise the frame rate by lowering it, just turn it off. You don't need the effects, you don't need the post-processing. The game's still going to look just as good. View distance is probably the most important. You don't need any of the other things. Vsync that's up to you. That's personal preference. I keep it off for the higher frame rate. That's my opinion, so I'd say keep that off, in my opinion. Motion blur, it depends on if you care about motion blur. That's like a nausea thing, so if it's going to affect your nausea, turn it off. If it's not, then leave it. I have my FPS showing, that way I can always see my frames per second. I haven't messed with the rendering modes, so I don't know what this is or this. They're both in beta, so I'm assuming those are going to be like better gains on how to render everything, but I would just leave it on 11 until those are out of beta. When they're out of beta, maybe switch them. And yeah, everything else on, off. You can have that on. DLSS I have set to performance, so I'm guessing my NVIDIA wants me to set it that way, and that's why the anti-aliasing is on epic. That's fine for me. It's whatever. I have a really nice PC. If you don't have a nice PC, turn this off so you can turn the anti-aliasing off. Then settings, toggle sprint. I have auto open doors. Mantle activation is hold jump. Let's see if there's anything else that's important out of this. I don't use inverted controls. Okay, so there's not really anything out of that. The game UI, I don't really change anything off of that either. I just leave it. I don't use this at all. Okay, now when you look at the sensitivity, 10.9, 10.9. Targeting sensitivity is 26.9 on both. And I have 1600 DPI set on my mouse. So make sure you have your 1600 set, and then these. And just get used to that sensitivity, and you'll get pretty solid aim in the long run. Sensitivity, multiplayer, I just leave everything else. Just pay attention to those. I don't use controller, so don't look to me for controller settings. Now you will want to go into your sound settings, and you want to scroll down, and where it says visualize sound effects, make sure you turn that on. That is important. That is how you see when people are coming up on you. Super important part of the game. All right, now on to keybinds. And I'll show the mouse keybinds afterwards, but I'm just gonna let you guys see these for a second, and you can base it off of that. So I never use the auto run. Jumping, I use mouse wheel down so that I can, basically it lets you bunny hop when you land if you click open your scroll wheel and just let it run, pretty much. Everything else is basically the same on this. Firing, targeting is fine. Reload is R. Use is C. My harvesting tool is set to 1, and I do just click 1. My weapon slot 1 is set to one of my mouse buttons. My thumb mouse 2. So thumb mouse 1 is my walls. Thumb mouse 2 is my shotgun. This enables me to pull out my shotgun fast or to throw up walls fast whenever I need to. The rest of these are set to numbers, but those numbers are set to my keys on my mouse, which I will show you afterwards. So you can just leave these the same. And then, yeah, see, wall, thumb mouse button. Floors are Q, stairs are E, roof is V. I just click to place, G to repair, H to rotate, F is to edit. That's super important. Editing works well with me on F. Changing my building material is just right clicking. The other building thing that you want to do is it's called a scroll wheel reset. So building edit and reset building edit, you want to be mouse wheel up, scrolling your mouse wheel up. What that will do is it'll allow you to reset builds really fast. That way, it's like, let's say you throw up a window and shoot someone and you want to delete that window and make it a normal wall again. All you have to do is scroll up on your scroll wheel and it's reset. So yeah, definitely pay attention to all these. My ping button is just my like tilde. It's just out of the way, but it's easy enough for me to reach. Just put your ping wherever you want it. And all of this is subject to however you find comfortable. So if you're like, man, this could be better than this, it's all you. Everyone has different keybinds. These are just mine because people have asked me to share them. My emotes are just set to B. I don't mess with the rest of it. My traps are set to T. I can use T or I can click my scroll wheel, which is binded to T. And everything else is basically the same. Map is M. As you can see, most everything is defaulted. My vehicle stuff is completely defaulted. And those are my keybinds. I don't know if there's any other settings. Yeah, there's no other settings for me. So those are my keybinds. And then the last thing I'll show you is in the Logitech app, because I use the G502, there are extra buttons on the G502, and you can use those buttons to bind to certain keys. So I have these buttons binded to my numbers, and then my scroll wheel is binded to T. So essentially I can place traps with my scroll wheel. I can switch weapons by tilting my scroll wheel either direction. That's what 3 and 4 is. And then 6 and 5 are the side buttons next to my left click. So you can just screenshot this if you want to set up your mouse the way I have mine set up. And that is all of my keybind settings and everything that I would recommend to you as a beginner Fortnite player, all in one little video. If you guys enjoyed it and if this helped you out, please use code KAJU in the item shop. Yes, that's an ad. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in stream and I'll let you guys know.